Hello and welcome to 7th Circle Gaming. Today on the channel we're going to analyze the game Black Myth Wukong, which we'll call BMW for short. We'll start the analysis proper in just a moment after the full disclosure. You are welcome to read through all of these if you like, just pause the video. However, if you are not exactly a fan of reading, just let the video run and the gameplay clips will start in a moment. In this first gameplay clip that we're looking at from BMW, we're going to examine the menu system of the game, and then later on we'll look at the in-game world. From what we can see here already, we notice that there is a significant amount of statistics for players to examine and attempt to Let's now move on and examine the in-game world of BMW and the user interface. We'll start off with the user interface, which is centered around the bottom left and the bottom right hand corners of the screen. At the bottom left hand corner of our screen we have the player health, stamina, and other indicators. At the bottom right hand corner of the screen we have indicators for the currently selected fighting style. These are minimalistic, and depending on how much time the player has spent simply exploring the world, these will become transparent, leaving the majority of the play space available to render. And we'll end this gameplay clip on a brief combat encounter so that everyone can see what a combat encounter in the game is going to look like, without any commentary. In this second gameplay clip, we want to illustrate the difference between BMW and a game of the Dark Souls genre. No matter how much the player character attempts to jump over the ledge to a premature restart, they are absolutely unable to do so. Now then, moving on to our first proper chapter, let's examine immersion. Here the game has earned a score of 8 out of 15, which is above average. From all of our evaluation sessions, the game seems to focus primarily on 3 areas to create immersion. These are presentation, player agency, and challenge. From what we saw earlier in the gameplay clips, it should be obvious that the in-game world is rendered in an art style that should be relatable to the majority of players of the game. The game does include a story. However, it is only going to be relatable to players that are familiar with the source material for the game. Let's now move on to difficulty, where the game has earned its lowest score, that being a 1 out of 15. On the plus side, the game is equally well experienced, either with a mouse and keyboard or a. On the positive end of the spectrum, players can experience the game equally well, either with a mouse and keyboard or a gamepad. On the other hand, the game lacks any difficulty options as such, although from our evaluation sessions it certainly does appear that the settings choices that the player makes can influence the difficulty of the game directly. Behind difficulty, let's now discuss lasting appeal, where the game has earned a score of 5 out of 15, which admittedly is rather low. Once again, it is fair to say that the game uses its graphics to appeal to players. In addition to that, players that are familiar with the source material may find themselves playing the game for longer than players that are not familiar with the source material. In addition, players may find that the game is friendly to a need to put the game down and then come back to it sometime later. Now that's all of the chapters covered, let's compile everything into the overall score. Overall, BMW has earned a score of 4.67 out of 15, almost a 5 out of 15. We don't have any objective statements to add to this, so everything after this is going to be highly subjective. Please have your salt handy. The in-game world ticks all of the boxes. It is beautifully rendered and easily relatable to anyone who's wandered throughout the woods at any point in their lives. Of course, a lot of these points are enumerated above. One that isn't, and we'll add here, is that how successful the player is at the game can significantly impact their enjoyment of this product. Players that are up to the game's challenges are likely to experience the game as being much better than players that are not up to the game's challenge. And on that final, highly subjective note, we do offer a hearty congratulations to everyone who watched all the way to the end of the video. You are, of course, welcome to offer your suggestions about the game in the comments section below. Likewise, please suggest games that you'd like to see on the channel. Either way, thank you very much for watching this video, and from 7th Circle Gaming, goodbye.